Hey, today I'm gonna cover a little bit of the preliminaries to do a migration from Drupal to Drupal, specifically from Drupal 7 to Drupal 7, sort of a lateral migration. Um, in other help documents or videos, we describe how we modify or add fields to existing classes for migrations, but in here we're gonna take a step back and we're gonna cover the basics of how do you start a new fresh migration. So I'm gonna do a screen share with you, and here it is. And we're gonna start going to examine the basics. So to do a Drupal 7 to Drupal 7 migration, the best is to extend Mike Ryan's D2D module, Drupal to Drupal module. And that module also extends another module that that Mike Ryan and others created, the migrate module. So, but in here, what we do is customize the Drupal to Drupal migration. So I created a new folder called D7 migration. It's in GitHub. And what you want to do is code here your customization. So this would be the module that you will need to install, okay, on top of installing also migrate and migrate D2D in order to make it work. So let me just explore a little bit this module. You have, like in any Drupal 7 or Drupal 6 module, you have a number of files, specifically, most importantly, the .info and .module. Those are common to all Drupal modules. In the .info, you might know what you do is declare a little bit of things about the module. You give it a name. You might want to describe a little bit what it does. This will appear in the modules page of Drupal. You refer to what Drupal distro is using, the version 7x, so all versions of the 7. And then you declare some dependencies. In here, I am saying that it depends on the migrate module, the UI, the extras, and the D2D. And migrate D2D actually uses the migrate framework. And in addition, you might, any additional files that you might need in this module, it'll be also have to be cleared down here. Note the semicolon, those are commented out by for them. All right, so we've got the .info cover. The .module has nothing on it, but you still need it. It's housekeeping, Drupal, module building. So use the one line. Now, the migrate module extension practices says that you wanna have like a .migrate.env, and this is where you initialize the hooks that are necessary to extend the migration framework. So what I mean by that is here's where the functions are that are related to the migrate framework. And specifically, the hook migrate API is the one that you want to use. So like any other hook in Drupal, what you do is replace the word hook here by your module name. In this case, we call the module and the folder D7 migration. So you replace that to initialize it, and that way Drupal knows that everything is correct and can do its thing and integrate it in the framework. And in specifically this function, what it does is it expects an array that has a number of elements, and it just basically makes a reference to the version of the API and initialize the new group, the new migration group, and we are going to call this ILTR-7 migration group, with a more readable title, if you wish. And ILTR stands for International Long-Term Ecological Research Network. And then in the last element of this array that we're going to pass back is the migrations. That's also expected. In here, where you say which class name, that's this migration. And anyway, so that's all about this hook. And I added also a .install. Basically, what this module does is make sure that you throw an error if there is not a database connector. So you might know that when you are doing a migration, in this case, a Drupal to Drupal migration, we have to connect both databases, right? The source of the migration, the old database, so to speak, into the new one, the destination, right? So in the destination Drupal, you have to have a connector. Most likely, this will be in the settings.php, where you specify with a key-based array where your source connection is, right? And what we do in these functions, in the hook requirements, is tell, well, if there is not a connection that is called Drupal 7, which is arbitrarily how I call this particular connector, then throw an error that says make sure that you have a database connection with the key Drupal 7 added to your settings.php, in this case. So that's all you need. That's kind of the preliminaries to make these lateral migration happen. I will cover in the next in another video the actual mapping of the content types. So that's what it is. The last thing that is needed is those mappings that says, hey, in this content type, these fields go to these fields. Now, for this case, it's going to be straightforward, as is just nothing has changed. The same content type exists in the destination as it was in the source. So it's going to be really easy to extend the Drupal 7 content type migration in the D2D, because most of the fields, most of the metadata of those fields are already automatically mapped, and all we need to do is all the custom fields and field groups that have been created that have the corresponding mapping. So that's it for today. And let me see if I can stop the broadcast and see you another time. Contact me if you have any questions.